So here's something kind of weird. Some of you may know that the 1999 creepypasta story featuring a children's television show with a dude named Mr. Bear on it, written by Little Giant Engineer, I believe, back in the late 2000s, maybe? Um, it's a story that, was posted up, became sort of a viral creepypasta phenomena, one of the more popular stories. And it was, found out later on that in later installments of the ongoing story, there was some plagiarism. Basically, what happened is there was a web series called Alan Tutorial where a guy made, some interesting videos, and the 1999 story in its later installments was plagiarizing those videos, having, the character Mr. Bear doing the things that were in the videos and, pretending that was part of the story. Now, it's always been kind of a question as to who wrote those later segments. Probably wasn't the original author, so on and so forth. Now, however, it has been discovered that some of the posts on the blog from the original author, on the author's blog, have the plagiarized segment in them. What happened is the original author of 1999 posted up some translated versions of his story on his blog. Translated to Italian, translated to Russian, different things like that. And in those translated versions that he posted to his blog, the plagiarized sections were in there. Now, the question is, did he just not, understand that he was copy-pasting, a version of his story that had extra content in it? Or, is it something where it actually was something he had written and added on? I don't know. He claims not. He claims that the plagiarism was by someone else who later came in and, added on to his story. Which, is entirely possible, entirely plausible, probably true, who knows. Maybe he added the translated versions with the plagiarism onto his blog without checking them. That's entirely possible. This was done in, 2015. I think the original story was posted in 2009. So, yeah. Recently, people have been getting requests to take down videos and posts of 1999. The creator of the story, Little Giant Engineer, has been essentially asking people to take down anything referencing 1999, and in some cases has DMCA'd. Now, the question here is, what point is too far? Like, how far is too far for something like this? Because, honestly, if somebody's giving critique, if somebody's reviewing it, if somebody's reading the story and giving their opinions and thoughts and, criticisms, that's, in my mind, fair use. You don't have a right to DMCA that. Bare readings of the story, where it's not transformative, then it kind of gets into the place where, yeah, you probably could say, hey, that's my property, don't just reformat it into audio and then re-upload it. But yeah, so I don't know, it's kind of a sticky situation here. Now, I will say that I do believe the author has crossed some lines here. Basically, I'll just go on to show you. If you look at the story 1999, you can see the sections toward the bottom are sections that were added later, of course. And if you do something like search for dust a room, this is one of the segments that was stolen from Alan Tutorial, how to dust a room. And it basically goes on to describe like an Alan Tutorial type video, different things like that. There's one where he's finding berries in the trash, which is something literally from an Alan Tutorial video. And yeah, so you can find the story on some places, but mostly it is gone because creepypasta.com, I believe, and a lot of YouTube channels, and a lot of different places have had the story taken down through a DMCA claim, or just the author writing in and saying, can you please take down the story? So yeah, you're going to have to look long and hard to find it. I found it on some random site, quotev.com, I don't know what the fuck. But yeah, it'll probably be taken down soon. Now, the reason I say that he's going too far with the claims is stuff like this. People on Reddit who are asking about the plagiarism have had their posts removed. And you can go into the comments even And let's see, I think it's on here. Maybe, yeah, removed in response to a copyright notice. So even the comments are being removed. So it's like people who are mentioning, I think, the plagiarism are getting their words removed, which is like he doesn't have a copyright on people's posts, on people's claims, on people's comments about the story. How the hell can you get that removed by copyright notice? Here's another one removed by copyright notice. This probably was an actual post of the story, which is pretty much fine. But again, if you look in here, comment was removed due to copyright notice, and then the response. Pedophiles are like Hollywood, they have no imagination, so they rip off everything. Now, in this story, Mr. Bear is someone who kills children, so I think that's who he's referring to. But then he says they rip off everything, which would be plagiarism, meaning this post was about plagiarism and was removed, most likely. Made 6 years ago. There's other things here that were removed as well. Yeah, here we go. Comment deleted by user. Comment removed on copyright notice. Nobody has a copyright on your post, on your reply. So how the hell is a replying comment deleted on copyright grounds? This is basically like whitewashing anything about the plagiarism. Anyway, you can see here's something else. Essentially, the author of the story has sent a DMCA notice to Google itself. Google LLC is the recipient. And saying, I am the copyright owner and original author of the fiction story in question. I originally posted it, blah, blah, blah. 2009 at the URL below. And it's actually trying to get Google results removed. So when you Google 1999 creepypasta, you don't get these results. So this DMCA is to make results not appear on your Google search. I feel like that's a bit too far, rather than just getting creepypasta.org to remove it, or if they won't, trying to force them to personally. Hiding the Google results from people is kind of strange. Here's one of the sites that was hit by DMCAs. This is an interesting case, because this is a WordPress blog that appears to be just giving posts in like the 1999 universe, like posts about the story extending onto the story. And in here you will find specific. Let me just do a search here. Dust a room. Okay, so here you will find posts of the plagiarized material. Like here's one of the things that was plagiarized from Alan Tutorial. But here's the thing. This is a blog posting like additional updates. You see what this is? This isn't the original 1999 story. This is an update. So this is somebody's like fan fiction if it's not written by the original author. This is fan fiction by somebody, and it has been removed. Like here's the live site. Here's the archived site. And here's the live one. On the live site that's up right now, everything is taken down by DMCA. So this is why I think the author has gone too far. If somebody started a blog and they were posting like fan entries, like their own fan fiction about 1999, you don't have a right. You don't have a right to remove their fan fiction about your story. Especially if they're not profiting from it, not claiming it as their own, all that and so forth. Do we want to get into that whole thing about does a big corporation have the right to remove your fan fiction from the internet? Now, if you go through a big, long legal battle and you go up against, like, Disney lawyers, well, I can guarantee you'll lose. Yeah, so the company is going to take down your material. But then we get into, like, the spirit of the law and different things. Should they be able to take down transformative work, which to me would be fair use. If you write your fan fiction, that's usually fair use, as long as you're not profiting from it or claiming it's your own. Like you made the whole universe, stuff like that. But I could be wrong. That's my personal opinion. I am not a lawyer. So it just seems odd to file a DMCA with Google to restrict Google results so nobody learns of the plagiarism, to delete posts and comments, actual comments from people saying their opinion, to hide the plagiarism. And, stuff like this where you're removing things that aren't even something you wrote, supposedly, because it takes place in the universe of your story. It just seems too far to me. Now, as I said before, there are posts on the author's blog that do have the copyright infringement. So, what was he doing there? Was he was the author of this story just ignorant of what was in the translation, which is possible, entirely possible? Was he claiming someone else's work as his own by copying and pasting someone else's plagiarized work onto his blog? Or did he write the original plagiarized work? I don't know. I would say he probably just didn't read the translations. But it's kind of hard to know what's going on here, because here we have the original post of 1999. And as you can see in the URL, this was posted in 2009. And so this is like the original post of 1999. Doesn't have the plagiarized material in it, so on and so forth. But it kind of gets a little crazy, because if you look at the source code of this page, you'll see that this was modified last month. So this post from 2009 has been recently edited. For what reason, I don't know. There are like no web archive pages. There's no archives of this page where you can see what used to be on it, unfortunately. But we do know it's been edited recently. I don't know for what reason. It just is strange, just is concerning. And then you've got something like this, 1999 Black Sabbath, which is a installment in 1999, written and posted on October 3rd, 2011, but it mentions something that happened in Season 3, Episode 6 of Game of Thrones. Why is this a problem? Season 3, Episode 6 of Game of Thrones was not out in October 3rd, 2011. That episode of the show, that season of the show, came out in 2012. So that this has been, edited to write in a reference to a show that came out later after the post. So there's a lot of edits here, so I don't really know how much we can actually just use this as gospel, what's in the original post, because anything could have been edited at any time. So I really don't know where that leaves us. It just is an odd situation. I think that the author is well within his rights to have the story removed from wherever he wants to have it removed, blah, blah, blah. Especially if it's being used for monetary gain or being used without credit. That's definitely something that needs to be removed. But I don't think he has the right to file copyright notices on people's opinions. And this Google thing just is very concerning. To send a DMCA to Google to censor results in searches is really odd. And I find this most concerning of all. Actually, no, I find the comment removal most disturbing of all. But second most disturbing, going to a fan blog, a blog run by a fan of your story, and DMCAing their original content they wrote that was a fan work of your story because it's based on your story. That to me seems like dirty pool. And I just don't understand. I don't understand that leg. I just don't understand what's going on here. My gut feeling, which has no basis in anything I know, this is just a gut feeling, total speculation. I'm wondering if somebody has approached the author about making a movie or something about this, and he's going around getting rid of all the plagiarism accusations so that they don't come up. Or maybe he just wants to pitch it for a movie. Or something to that effect. Maybe he wants to start writing the series again himself, and he wants to erase all the fan work and all the stuff like that. But whatever the case is, I just don't feel like this is fair. I don't feel like this is clean to go around DMCAing stuff that isn't your property. I don't know. That's about it. I'm going to put some links in the description below. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see that he's even asking people to take down videos explaining why they took down their videos. I will say, if Little Giant Engineer does watch this video, I will not take this video down. And I would highly suggest not DMCAing it, because you'd have no recourse and I have nothing personal against you, so let's not create something personal.